welcome back to another video. This video is my end of year update on what's happened since the last update. I hope you all had a good Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, just had a good festive time. So, as you can see in front of you here, we've got a few kits. I'm going to do the static models first and then go into a little bit of the model railway side of things. So let's get straight into it. As you can see in front of you here, this is the E50 that I did a inbox review on in the last video, and I have tried to do some pre-shading on this. First time ever doing it, so I'm going to see, hopefully it will come out quite nicely, but so far it's quite a nice kit, fairly detailed. The only parts that I'm not really happy with, as in kit wise, the turret half, it's not really a turret, but the top half was a pain to put together. The gun, fixing the actual gun into the mantlet was awful. The way you had to do that was just terrible, and the parts that held the gun onto the mantlet were too large for the slots that they'd moulded, so I had to do a bit of butchery with that. The doors at the back here, I'm not sure you can see that, I'll just move the light, there you go. Doors at the back there were alright, and they're quite nicely detailed as well, but it was just a bit of a pain because this back section where the doors are, you had to put that in as well, and that was a bit of a pain. But other than that, it's a really nice kit. The actual texturing of the plastic is really nice. I haven't yet glued the two halves together, the top and bottom hull, but yeah, other than that, it's quite nice. And as you can see just in the background over there, I've got the wheels all set up and they've been painted base coat black, and then I'm going to go over this in a German dark yellow, and then do a camo scheme, so hopefully that should be quite nice. So yeah, this is for the John Moore Scale Models group build, so hopefully that should be quite nice. Just setting that to one side. You've also got off shot here, you can just see it, the Panzer IV. I'm really happy with this so far. This is the first time I've ever done any sort of whitewash and chipping effects. I think it's come out really nice. I did this last night. I haven't yet picked out all the bits. I'll just use this little pet here as a pointer. So the bits of track I haven't picked out, the shovel and all the tools and everything. That will be done probably later on this evening. So that's actually coming along quite nicely. With also I've got to do the exhaust here as well in like a brown rusty colour, because the heat that came from these exhausts would have made them rust. So that will be done and we look quite nice. And as you can see with the tracks there, I'm really happy with these tracks as well, because it's the first time I've ever succeeded in doing rubber band tracks properly. Whereas if I turn it upside down, I'm not sure if you can be able to see, you can see there, what I did was put them together and then got a screwdriver, heated it up, and then just pressed it, and it melted the little nubs and fixed it together, which I think is the way you're supposed to do it, but I never knew that. So I mean, I'm really happy with this so far. Obviously little details, I've ordered some aluminium, flat aluminium, to do these spokes on the drive sprocket there, but that won't take long to do. As I said, I've got to do all the tools, and it is a bit shiny. That's because I haven't matte coated it yet. I literally did this last night, and the way I did this was the hairspray effect. So I did the German grey base layer, and then 2 coats of matte clear, the Tamiya matte clear, and then hairsprayed it. No, before that I put on the decals. I've only put 2 on, the numbers, but then I put the decals on, and then put the hairspray over the top, and then let that dry for about half an hour, and then I sprayed it white, and then used a wet brush and did all the chipping effects. I think it looks really good. I'm so happy with this, considering I've never done anything like this before. I think I've done pretty well. But yeah, so I'm actually quite astounded how far I've come looking at my first ever tank kit or model in general. I haven't got my first ever tank kit because I threw it away because I was astounded with it, because how awful it was. I really should have kept it. But looking at my first ever kit, which was a Spitfire, and then comparing it to something like this, I think I've come quite far. So it's quite nice to see the progression. So that's going to be all detailed later on. And then, as you can see at the back here, I don't know whether I've shown this in a previous video, but I've pretty much finished the RAF Bedford now, the MWD Bedford. So I'm not sure whether the lighting's very good, so let's just bring that down. There you go. And I've just done a light, gone over it quite lightly with a brown with my airbrush, and put all the windows in, and I think it's looking really nice now. So there's not really a lot else I can do with it. I've just noticed there's a bit of a mark there where I did a bit of a wash. But so what I'm probably going to be doing is doing like a grass base, either that or a concrete hard standing for a sort of like Air Force base, RAF base. But yeah, so I did this in a brown because I was going to put grass on top of it. Obviously it's a bit rough and ready, but it was just giving you an idea of what it was going to be. And to give you guys a tip out there, if you ever struggle with a vignette base or something like that, you can always use candle, there's a Winwick candle lids, and they're really good for little vignette bases and stuff like that. I haven't really seen anyone else that uses them, and I thought, why not? They're nice bits of wood. Yes, mostly MDF usually, but you know, it does the trick, and I think that'll make quite a nice little base for this. So yeah, it's a good little tip there. If any of you have any old Woodwick candles that you still got the lids for, you can always use the lids as a base. And then going on to this, I don't think you guys have seen this before. I did this, I started this around Reese's, so RJC Models. If you haven't seen his channel or you're not subscribed to him, go and check him out. He's a great little channel. Not little, I think he's got a lot more subscribers than me, but great channel, and he's got some great builds on there as well. So I went round his once, and I took this kit with me because we were both building kits, so I bought this with me, and I forgot it there, so he dropped it round a couple of months ago, and yeah, I finished it. But it needs a bit of a paint and a bit of a tidy up because this was an older kit that I did. I can't remember the kit company. So this is a German First World War artillery piece or field gun. I think it's artillery. So I was going to do that on a base, maybe with some figures. The figures that came with the kit are awful, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to be using them. But you know, it's quite nice nonetheless to have. And then going on to some figures. These are the World War I German figures. I think you've seen this one before. Let's try and get that in shot. Here you go. I'm really happy with these. I think compared to, yet again, as I said, with my Spitfire and everything like that, compared to where I used to be, my figure painting is getting better because I'm doing more of it. Now, this was the first one I did out of the two, and I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to put them up there for now. Look pretty good there. And then I've got a German officer, which was the second one. I'm really trying to do good skin tones, but you know, I'm not great, but it'll do. It'll do with the purposes that I want them for, and I think I've done pretty well considering. But yeah, these are both resin figures. You can't really find many German First World War figures out there. I mean, Tamiya do British First World War, but yet don't do German, which I don't really get. I get they've got the Mark IV First World War tank. I think Mark IV, and I've got a few other marks as well, female and male. But yeah, they don't really do any German figures, which I think is a bit of a shame, because they're missing out on there, because there's not really any decent German figures on the market apart from resin ones. So I had to pick these two up, and I'm hopefully going to be trying to get hold of a third one. This is for the trench diorama that I'm doing. I'll quickly go and get it and I'll show you. So I'll be back in a second. So this is the base that they're going to be going on. Oh, sorry, I'm knocking the camera there. This is the base that they're going to be going on. So this guy will be going there roughly, and then the officer will be going outside the dugout. Actually, up against there. Oh, there you go. So hopefully that should look quite nice. I've been asked by a couple of people how I built this. Oh, he's fallen over. How I built the base. So I'll quickly run you through it. So what I did is, this is just a bit, I think, of, is that 3-inch maybe? Just a bit of wood, hardwood. I think it's hardwood or softwood, I can't remember. But just a bit of scrap wood that I found in the wood store that we've got. And I used some of the blue foam. I'm not sure what they call it, but it's like a blue modeller's foam sort of stuff. You can use any foam really, but this stuff's really nice to use. And I glued it all together, and then I got some, I'll see if I can show you. Just about to see it there in the light. Can you? I'm not sure. Try and get the light in there. There you go. You can see there's some, I've actually lined the walls of the dugout with wood. Now they're matchsticks that I bought ages ago. Literally just matchsticks that you just cut the ends off, and then stick them in side by side, and that lines the walls of the dugout there. And the, oh, knocking the camera again, and the actual lining the sides of the trench, the supports of the trench, I use these. Actually, don't just use these, but you can use these. I recently got these from my mum. These are like fire lighters, just little slivers of wood. You can use like what they called lollipop sticks as well, and that does the job just as well. But yeah, these are little sort of like fire lighters, and she bought, I think my mum bought them in a pack of what, 500. So they're really good for this sort of thing. And you just cut them to size, glue them on with a bit of PVA, and then put supports on them. I did the same sort of thing for like duck boards at the bottom, as you can see there. But yeah, I think it's come out quite nicely. And then over the foam, I did a layer of filler, so like a generic wall filler you can get from pound shops, or you know, your hardware store like B&Q or somewhere like that. Let that to dry, and then paint over it. And then this is several layers of different browns to get this sort of dirt mud effect. And I've still got to do some more on it, but I think it's looking all right so far, and it'll do the job. And I think these side bits are small thin bits of balsa wood, I do believe, either balsa wood or ply. I think they're probably thin ply. I can't actually tell if they're balsa or ply, but I should know really, shouldn't I? I'm the one that built it. But yeah, it's it does the job, and you're pretty much making something from nothing instead of buying it. I mean, I'll quickly show you the other trench dio that I've got, which is from what do you call it? Field of Glory, I think it's called. Give me 1 second. I'll be back in a sec. Sorry about that. I had to get it off the shelf. But yeah, so this is the Field of Glory sort of trench diorama base that they do, and it's made out of cast. I don't think it's resin. I think it's plaster, cast plaster. And these, I think, these are Field of Glory figures as well. And as I said, they do. You can get loads of First World War English figures or British figures, but you can never get the Germans. So you know, it's a bit of a pain. But you know, this is nice. But then if you don't want to fork out what, around about 30, 40, 50 quid for the whole, to do that whole base, depends on what you want to do. Knocking the camera again, sorry. Then you know, you can pretty much do it, or do something that looks nicer, or well, it's really a matter of opinion. But you know, you can do that for cheaper. You can make that yourself from just scrap bits of foam, bit of wood, and some filler and some paint, and that's pretty much it. You know, like, you know, you compare the prices there, so you know, it's another good tip there. And then what else have I got to show you? Oh yeah, another figure for another little diorama I'm doing. I know I'm doing loads of dioramas, but you know, I get round to doing one, get halfway through it, and then think, oh, I'll start another one, and never really get them finished. I've got loads of them, but this is, I'm not sure whether I've shown you this before. I think I might have done. This is the this paratrooper figure, and that is another resin figure because I could never find any with the full equipment. So what this is going to be is, if any of you have seen Band of Brothers, there's a scene in the second episode where you've got a paratrooper hanging from a tree, and a few members of Easy Company come across a load of dead Germans and dead Americans, because, well, most of the Americans were ambushed. But you know, I think it's quite gruesome. But I thought, I've never seen anyone do anything like it model wise, and I thought it'd be quite, I'm going to use the word poignant, to do such a thing, because obviously war is not pretty, and yes, it is sad that he's dead hanging in a tree. I won't show the picture from the series up on here in case any of you don't want to see that, but if you haven't seen Band of Brothers, I do recommend going and watching it. I think it's on Sky. It's really good. It's by HBO, the same company that did Game of Thrones. So yeah, it is really, really good. It's only a mini series, only I think, what is it, about 10 episodes or so, and it's really good. So yeah, go and check that out. I think, actually, you know, I've got the Truck and Gun Dio, which is another Band of Brothers inspired diorama, which I'll go and get now. I'll be back in a second. Just about to get this in shot. I'll just move the camera back a little bit. There you go. So as you can see here, this is the Truck and Gun Dios diorama. This, yet again, is based off of Band of Brothers. I've got 3 of these base dioramas to show you. This is pretty much nearly done. There's only a few more little bits that I need to do, is raise the hedge line a little bit, and I was going to put some proper dirt on the base there where the mud is. I'll just turn it around because I don't think I've shown you this since I've done it. And I'll put the figures down. These were the Tamiya figures that came with the truck kit itself. I think they suit it pretty well. These ones I haven't done skin tones and all that on. All I did was use this Citadel paint. I've lost the label, so I'm not sure what colour it is, but it's a Games Workshop paint, and yeah, it did the job. It's not great, as because I've been using, for those other 2 figures that I've shown you, I've been using the Flesh and Skin colours from AK, which are a very good set. I think it's about £17, and you get the full colour set in there, so it's really worth the money. But yeah, so I've glued all these down. When you get these with the mess tins, they don't have anything in them, they're just smooth. So what I've done is I've used a bit of blue tack. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see this, but I've used a bit of blue tack, and I've roughed up blue tack in the mess tin. I've put some super glue over the top and then painted it like a meaty sort of creamy colour, so it looks like some sort of meat soup or something like that. So then it has some more substance to it, put it that way. So that gives it a bit more detail, and that again, it comes with 2 wine bottles in the kit. So what I've done is printed off some wine labels in 1/35 scale and cut them out and stuck them on. So you've got wine labels there, which I think looks quite nice. Sorry, it's a bit dusty and cobwebby, but I haven't really looked at this in a while. But yeah, so all I've really got to do to finish this now is raise the hedge line a bit, because it's a bit too low, and probably do a little bit to the dirt, the ground tones, probably with a little bit of dried dirt from the garden, so that'd be quite nice and easily to do. So that's pretty much it for this one. And now I'll move this one out of the way quickly. I'm not sure where I'm going to put this. I'll put this back and I'll show you the next one. Still sticking with the Band of Brothers theme. I know that I've gotten a lot of inspiration from this program, but there is a lot in this program that you can take from, and I'm sure there are others out there as well that you could take from. In the actual, well, in the program, there's a scene, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but there's a scene where they basically get attacked, and there's a tank convoy, and it basically gets knocked out, but it keeps going, if that makes any sense, and hits a electrical pole at the side of the road. So I thought, I've got an old tank, old Sherman, that I could do this with, and the base I wasn't happy with, so I'm just going to show you. I cut a hole out at the bottom. This is an old kit. This was one of my first tanks that I ever built, and I've done a bit to it to make it look a bit better. That track will be sorted, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole through the bottom. I've got this lighting kit, I have to find it at some point. Drill a hole through the bottom of the foam and put a LED in the tank, so then it looks like it's still burning. Obviously this is all going to be stuck down, and yet again just this bluey green foam, and it's really good for this sort of thing, and just a bit off cut of wood. I think that's going to look quite nice. I've got some struts to put on top. There you go. So that's going to be like the beams for where the I think it's more of a phone line than an electrical line, but yeah, I think it's going to look quite nice. So it does something with the kit. It's better than throwing it away and not doing it at all and wasting your money. So yeah, I think that uses it. And then going on to, I think that's all the static models. Yeah, it does appear. So yeah, going on to the model railway side of things. This is a wagon that I got bought by a club member when we went to Worley, and this was last year. And what I'm going to be doing with it, it came with one coupling and it was missing one. So what I've done to this side is done it in a wash, just to sort of like highlight the panels. I've done a bit there. You can't, it's not as dark as that panel. There's the original colour. So if you compare that side to that side, that's a bit darker. This is a coal or ore wagon. I think it might be a coal wagon. So that's going to be quite nice, and add that to the stock fleet. And so we've got one added wagon and one minus loco. You guys won't know what I'm talking about, but my club members will. One night, well, basically every Monday night, we have a Zoom call, because we can't do a proper club meeting. We have a Zoom call with our club members, and I thought, oh, it'd be a good idea just to have a look at this and see if it can be sorted out. There was nothing wrong with it. Well, there was stuff wrong with it, actually. I lie. It was second hand from the last exhibition that my railway club did, which was a couple of years ago now. And I saw it because I wanted a Merchant Navy, so I bought it. I think it was about £35 or so. There was a few blemishes on the body, so I weathered it. And I think Reese over at RJC Models, yet again, another plug for him. He had a go at it as well, so that was really nice of him. But there were problems with it. And when I looked at it a few nights back, the linkage broke on one of the, well, part of the linkage broke on one of the sides. So I took it all apart, see if I could fix it. Definitely couldn't fix it. Can't find any spare parts that are cheap enough. When you add it all together, it's worth the price of replacing all the parts is roundabouts the same price of buying a brand new one. So I thought I might as well just buy a brand new one. So I've taken it all apart, got it all in bits in this Chinese pot, and I'm going to use them all as spares. And another problem, that wasn't just the only problem, otherwise it would be laughable, really, calling myself a modeler and not be able to fix that. But also the wheels, the coating on the wheels has gone, and as I said, part of the linkage broke, and there's some detailing broken and gone, and it's you know, for the price, I should have looked at it better, but I saw it and I thought I'm going to get it because I've been wanting one for ages. It wasn't brand new, so you know, as I said, for the price that I could repair it for, I might as well buy a new one. So yeah, that's a shame. One less loco in the fleet. The motor works, so that's salvageable. Most of these parts are salvageable, so I can just clean them up and either sell them on or use them as spares. But that's not really a problem. So just to quickly show you what I got for Christmas. The only kit I got was the ARC 170 from Revell, a 183 scale. Sorry, it's a bit of a strange scale, but I used to have some what do you call it? I used to have some Star Wars kits. I had Slave One and I think a Jedi Starfighter, but I can't find them, and I was moaning a bit to my family saying I can't find my kits, because I was really wanting to build them. So it was a bit annoying. So my nan really kindly bought me this, I think from E-Models. So that was really nice of her, and yeah, I'll be building that at some point. I probably won't do any videos on it, but I will be building it, and it's going to be quite nice to build. It's quite small, but it'll be something Star Warsy to build. And also, I did get a 3D printer, a Elegoo Mars Pro, but unfortunately, when we got it, there is some issues with it, so we're hopefully going to be sending it back and getting either a replacement or refund or whatever. But yeah, unfortunately, that hasn't worked out. And the only thing I could actually print off of it, it went not even halfway through a print. I'll quickly show you how much I got out of it. Any of you who know the Elegoo Mars and Elegoo resin printers in general, you know that the test print is 2 rooks, which are basically towers for chess, like castle towers, and that's literally all I was able to print, which is like probably the first 50 layers maybe, and there's 1,000 layers, probably even less than that, and they fell off the print bed. And I know why that was, because I had the exposure of the UV light too low for the first layers, so they fell off the print bed. But yeah, you know, at the end of the day, it's a learning experience, but that's literally all that could be printed. So, you know, I've cured them, and I'm going to keep them as a learning experience, so then I don't make the same mistake again. But yeah, I got some really nice bits. Actually, ironically, I got a Band of Brothers box set because I've been watching it so much. I got that from my sister, which was really nice of her. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. There's not really a lot else to show you, so I'm going to wrap it up here. This is the last video of 2020, so I hope you guys have a great 2021. It's New Year's Eve tomorrow, so yeah, keep modelling, have a good one, have a great new year, bye bye.